Yeah, not very, it's not scientific. I mean, it's not a survey, it's just an approximation.
Right. Probably taken from that old plan.
Yeah, and what they do is, this is, they just take that to propose it on this RL photograph. And used to, before we got fancy with Google Earth and so forth, they actually had RL photographs and printed copies, big sheets like we have. Right. And they would put those flats on and sort of sketch it in.
Yeah, okay.
We have an issue down on Gravelwick. Come to find out what we're thinking, because we keep paying taxes, 86 cents
Yeah.
every 6 months. I don't know if you and Dad ever talked about it or whatever.
I know that his grandfather owns some property, a little bit of property down there.
And what we're thinking is, my uncle said, Katie, instead of payment, people will give you rent. And I think that's why there's no real tax information on it, but we're like, we gotta get rid of that, our kids can't be paying.
Steve went down there, and somebody worked with everyone that was available to work with, could not resolve it, it scares me.
Yeah.
If an attorney cannot go down there and resolve it,
Right.
that's weird.
And I talked to Terry Reynolds, he said, Susie, y'all could get a lawyer, you could pay $10,000, maybe they could figure it out for a little piece of property, not that, But I said,
That's what he said.
well, but the collection agency came after Dad.
Or after I,
And I think Ira owned $2.60 for like 5 years. But I thought, I
Just
don't
tell
know.
Ira you're gonna give me your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I told Uncle Bill, I said, Uncle Bill, nothing says there's not oil or natural gas right under
Well,
there.
I know.
It happened to Jay Clampett, why not us?
And there's the cap of the whole.
Exactly.
I mean, the way they explained it, it might not be 10 by 10,
Oh, yeah.
10 feet by 10 feet.
I had a guy that, his tax ticket called for 9 acres. And I never could find the deed for it. I went back.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah,
I
I
knew
never
it.
could, I went back as far as I could go. I found deeds for small lots,
Mhm.
which, again, this was like 150 years ago. Like a half acre, but then lots were sold back to people were buying them and selling them at the same time. And I told him, I said, the only thing I can figure is maybe they took and just clumped everything together. He said, well, how come I? So I don't know. Where's that?
Yeah,
He
Terry.
got no idea. It
Something
was
you'll
his
see.
great grandfather's property. He didn't grow up here.
Right. That's scary.
You should be here in New York.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, how about you?
It was his great grandfather's property.
You know, ladies and treasurer's office straight.
1920s. And then his grandmother died in the,
Treasurer's office.
I said, I had they forget today, and I picked them out of Europe.
and then his dad died in the
I gotta get out there this week.
2010 or
I gotta get out there this
something. He
week.
was trying to.
Yeah, it's been pretty packed.
I figured.
Everyone's trying to get that for
He had no idea. This is the same area.
I can't remember if it was 20 to 25.
I think
We'll
it's the
never
20th.
find it.
That's what I was
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So if all of us are gone, would they find our kids and say, all right, you owe back taxes?
If you don't, if you sell it, you have here before you die, so that you don't have to record a will here, it would just be unknown owners.
They just go back to state.
No, you're, let's see, where are you?
You're not. Ira was gonna come, but he has a new stove top he put in.
You're number 8. Okay, so
We get to talk about fun stuff before number 8.
let's see, we have a prayer, we have the pledge of allegiance,
Good.
and we approve the agenda, and then we approve the minutes, and we pay the bills, and we recognize the water plant for a gold award, and then you're next.
Oh, you're the first time.
You're the real business.
I'm the real business. Okay.
They'll call you, no, they'll probably vote on it as soon as you do it.
Okay.
And then we say, thank you. He said,
Unless you want to just stay and watch government action.
But it's not rude.
yes, it-
No, you can,
okay.
you maybe while we're waiting, see if you, I think your grandfather was a mayor, wasn't he? His name's probably over there. On one of
I know
those.
he was the common.
I think he was mayor of Lebanon at one point.
Was he?
How far back those go?
Well.
They're pretty far back, I think.
Let's see how, yep, there he is,
What's wrong with good?
S.B. Quillen.
this half. 55 to 56. I think, oh yeah, it is 12 to 14.
And then
It's
Judy,
before.
that's Judy's grandfather, I
Okay.
bet.
Yeah.
Oh, SB, that's.
And then Jack
He's the
Bondry,
one that owned
I
all
didn't
that.
know he
Yes,
was
yeah,
mayor.
SB. That's what's on there.
Who was it?
Jack Bondry,
Oh.
Judge Bondry,
You would probably recognize a lot of those names.
Herman Puckett, I didn't know that. Oh, it was kind of before I was born, to me, that's why I don't remember it. Huh. And Tony Doty,
Yeah.
been mayor for a long time.
25 years?
Yep.
Is he from here?
Tony-
Oh, big time. He's big time for Lebanon.
Usually they are, I figured he probably was. Hard to
He was-
replace it if you're not.
He was one of our youth pastors, I think,
Was
when I was,
Okay.
when I lived here, so. Hey, Clay, Ronnie, I like that hat.
Yeah.
Like that. Why didn't I know? Gotta keep him as the mayor. And you know, Dad could have been elected as stuff, but he said, I would never ask anybody to vote for me, so he never would.
Well, he told me he ran one time.
He did. He almost won.
Yeah.
He wasn't a
He
political
wasn't
guy.
interested in it.
No. He would just do it for the town.
Do you think he
His
was-
dad was the same way.
Do you think he was out here some real king? Because he never mentioned it.
And then he built the buildings were.
There wasn't a thing about that property yet.
How are you?
He
No,
was-
what, I had doctor's stuff, man, I barely got back here to do it.
But you know, we
Well,
just
after
didn't
five.
high school here, loving Ronnie, man. Hey,
How you been?
It was, this one was, this was when they were on war.
Harry Hall.
She said, you good?
I guess it-
Hey, girls, how are you?
Judy was good.
Diane, that's why last week brag on you. I think she's drunk, I think.
Oh, really?
I think she's drunk. Diane, come here if you just we'll do a house on Kings Avenue.
It should have been there. I'll give you.
Thank you.
And I did ask you, I don't know what's right.
It's outside that way. She comes with the PDC here last
I don't know
week.
what.
They had a meeting tonight. She just came over. We're at.
This is named Lavender. Well, it's actually, they're
You were hard fast. You straighten up the wall.
Sure, thanks for the help. Thank you all. Thank you. Well said.
Y'all just come up today?
Yesterday. I gotta get back to babysitting.
Grandma right here.
Grandma.
Very important person.
I had a doctor today. Spring, fall.
He did grandma's front porch. Yeah. Well, we've already asked her, she was. Oh, yeah.
Y'all wouldn't sit it for the camera.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Lebanon Town Council. If we could all rise for our invocation that will be given this evening of Miss Nina Fields, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you today for all of our many blessings. Lord, so many that I couldn't count mine, I know, and I'm sure everybody here feels that same way. Lord, I ask that you watch over us as we make decisions here and help us to make wise decisions. And if we follow your guidance, Lord, we can't go wrong. Thank you that we live in this little town, that we can walk the streets safely, and thank you for just planting us where we are. And Lord, may we bloom where we're planted and do everything in your wisdom and for your good and your glory and the good of this community. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, man. Okay, we've received our agenda packet. Do we need to do any editing to the agenda this time?
Mayor, the gold award for the water plant will be moved to July meeting.
So postpone? Okay. I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended here.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We also received minutes from our May 12th regular meeting and our May 29th call meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those. For motion regarding the minutes.
I'll make the motion we approve all of those dates.
Motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. See, we have an addition here, Drew, to the accounts, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Item B there.
Okay. Anything in addition to this that you need, Drew?
No, sir.
All right. We had a chance to review those, Mr. Gilmer.
I have, Mayor, and I'll make a motion to approve the May accounts payable along with AP preliminary report B for May.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have a Lebanon resident who used to be a Lebanon resident here with us this evening. And it's Susie Quillen Mays. I know where it's Susie Quillen. So Susie, you had a public request. Would you like to come forward? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Been a long time.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
That's my husband, Ron.
Yes.
Ron. But, just wanted to thank y'all for putting me on the agenda. I know, last meeting that they talked about the Quillen Hill and all that. So, I just wanted to clarify any questions you all might have about that. But my name is Susie Quillen Mays, and I now reside in Charlotte. I did live here my whole life. And, I always like to think my heart's here, but my life is somewhere else. So, this will always be my hometown, and I'm proud of it. And many of you knew my dad, Steve Quillen, who was a lawyer here in town for over 60 years. He too grew up here, went away for about 7 years for education, came back, never left. And unfortunately, we lost him back in January. as you all know. But what we were talking about, we have I think y'all have a plat of what we were talking about, but it just kind of came to our recognition that my great-grandfather, back in the 1900s, he was Stephen Banner Quillen, and he purchased some land here in town that's referred to as the Quillen Hill, which is right back here. It basically extends from Lively Avenue, and it goes back, and we have a big green water tank, and it goes over the top of the hill and halfway down the backside. So in 1956, he had a survey done, and when I say survey, they use stumps, trees, and just good old footsteps. So there's nothing that's really concrete on that. But he was really serious about developing a subdivision going up the hill. And so what he did was he gifted, or we're thinking he gifted the town the land under the water tank, and he gifted the town the roads for his subdivision. Well, here we are about 70 years later, and obviously the subdivision never developed. Judy Lockridge owns one part of it over on this side. So you had, did y'all need to see the plats, or can y'all see where Pine Street is?
Yeah, we saw it earlier.
And then there's Oak Street and Kelly Street. And so what has happened is, so we have a water tank, and then I just call it a watershed. The town built, I think they control a lot of stuff from it. So it comes halfway in through what, Hill Street? Hill Street.
Oak Street.
Oak Street.
Oak Street.
Mhm.
See, Mom?
Yeah, I
Okay.
messed up the first question.
So of course, the town, what we would like is the town to keep that. And maybe, I just feel that it would maybe benefit all of us if we were gifted back those streets. The town keep the street there, below the water tank where the watershed is, and then of course the land of the water tank. And I think it would just help all parties involved, because you all wouldn't have to build roads, which I doubt you all want any more roads to have to maintain. And we don't really want roads back there anyway. But I thank you for your time, and do y'all have any questions?
So Quillen Street actually services the water tank, correct?
Oak Street.
When I thought I just went up there, and Quillen Street, there's not a road.
So it's not an actual road on there, but on the map, what's labeled as Quillen Street on the plat that was drawn out, that's basically an easement right away that we use to get to the pump station. The town actually has two locks back there that the pump station and the water tank are on. But on the plat, it's identified as Oak Street that we're using.
Quillen Street, though, gives you access of a vehicle to the tank.
According to this,
According to, I just left from up there.
Yeah, and we almost probably missed each other. I just left up there about 30 minutes ago myself, just looking at it one last time.
So we access it from the street instead of the top street, is that correct, Greg?
Oak Street, you access the pump station, but the water tank is directly up the hill, but there's no roadway or no way to access the tank
Right.
unless you go through Quillen.
Well, what it is we use Oak Street to get down to the bottom of the tank and then go straight to the grass to get up to the tank. Because we own those two lots. The lot that the tank is on and the lot the pump station on, the town owns those two.
That sounds crazy to me though, cause it's like, there's the river rock, and it's steep grade, and there's a road on Quillen that goes right over to the tank. I spent a lot of time on that road growing up, going over to the water tank. When Larry Fuller lived up there.
you know, the house there going up to the Lockridge's at the
Yes.
bottom of the,
Yeah, on Angle.
is it near these yellow plots. that
You look at the next page, it shows.
There's a house between Quillen and Oak Street and Angle.
Okay,
It's
You
there on
can
the
s-
corner.
Yeah, right there
I
on
see
the
it.
corner. Probably represents maybe 3 or 4 of those lots.
I see it now.
Yeah.
So I guess my point is, if we're painting and maintaining those tanks, we would need Quillen Street, in my opinion, at least to the tank,
To the tank.
to the tank gets now.
So you all would keep Oak and Quillen?
At
To the
least,
tank.
at least to the pump station and to the water tank.
Would you all pave those roads? Cause I know that Quillen Street is just, you know, it's just mud,
Right.
and then I think Oak Street goes in front of that residence you were talking about. It cuts right in front of it, right?
Yeah.
It does, on the low end. Would it be possible to turn that property over and just give you all an easement in which to access the
A right of
tank
way?
for maintenance? Would that be a potential solution?
I think that would be a potential solution for me. I don't know about for the rest of the council.
Kevin?
Yeah.
right away, be
Yeah,
sufficient,
right
wouldn't it?
away, yeah.
So are you all wanting to develop this or sell it?
Probably sell it in the future. We just wanted a clean survey, a clean everything.
So I guess what I'm saying, are these right of ways here, are they a hindrance for what you're trying to do? Just being transparent. No?
Well, it'll be cleaner if the property's just returned back to the Quillens,
And-
yes.
Yeah, we wanna sell it as a whole. We're not gonna develop any subdivisions or anything like that. We just wanna sell it as a whole if that does come up in the future.
Because
But I'm just
actually,
thinking for our kids, we just wanna keep it nice and neat.
if you look at it right now, back to the Oak Street, which again is below the tank, and the Quillen Street, which is above the tank, and these roads really don't really exist as really roads. There are lots right here in between these roads that were never developed that are really just kind of landlocked. There's really nothing you can really do with it until we hopefully get this resolved.
So if we sell it as a group with an easement, does that solve that landlocked problem?
Yes, so again, it's my understanding Susie's great grandfather gifted the town
No
the
money
land-
for exchange.
the land for the road, so we're just asking for those roads back. And it sounds like just to address, what I think is a very good point about the water tank, we get Quillen Street back, and then we just, in turn, offer you all a right of way in which to access the tank for future maintenance. So, that's kind of the plan. What we think is hopefully a win-win proposal.
Yeah.
So you're willing to give Quillen Street, if we give Quillen Street back and Oak Street back, you're willing to give us a right of way on Quillen to the tank and Oak to the shed?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I guess that's the way it's, well, yeah, they've always had.
yeah, I mean, they've had access on Oak Street already, at least half of it over to the bottom of the tank. You probably don't need it all the way over, just where the tank stops, but again, the whole idea here is really just trying to come up with a win-win that works for everybody.
Sure.
And
That
I
is
don't
our-
know if Dad gave right of ways, I don't
Yeah,
know,
we-
for the town, because that shed's it's only been there for what, I don't know, 15 years?
Yeah, we probably have to look to
So I don't
Kevin.
know.
That's a pump, is that a pump station?
That was installed in a tank up on top of the hill,
Uh-huh.
so it pumps from, Quillen tank up to the top of the hill, so whenever the new tank is installed, including that's when that pump
Okay,
station.
so it's a pump station. Correct.
So, yeah, whatever you think kind of makes sense. I don't know if there's ever been anything papered up for Oak Street for that access, other than maybe an agreement, a verbal agreement. But if we need to paper up a right-of-way agreement to access it from the low end and access it from the high end,
We'd be more than happy to.
to me, that makes sense for everybody. But you gotta have access to it.
Yeah.
That's good. Kevin, is that a good solution here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if, preserves the town's access, definitely.
How's everybody? Good? Does this require, you want us to make a motion on this?
Well, what you're gonna
minutes?
have to do is you'll have to vacate
Those streets.
the
These
strict
streets.
rights of way.
Vacate.
Yeah, just like, I don't know if you remember when we did with the Baptist church.
Right.
And then I can, condition, I guess, on be granted easements.
Will you
Yeah.
write it?
Yeah, I can write
Agreement?
it. Yeah,
And work with them then?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So we need a motion to vacate Quillen and Pine and Oak.
And I think y'all wanted the hill vacated. Well, be Quillen to the east of Angle Avenue. Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
Miss Locker Jones to the west of Angle Avenue.
Right. And then, we can't forget the Hill Avenue on the right side.
Yeah, the Hill
I see
Avenue,
Hill there.
yeah.
So,
I don't think y'all have any use for that as well.
Mhm.
So do we know what's recorded?
This survey, that's a copy of it.
This is
So
here from
that- so you-
1950s.
That's the survey.
Yeah, this is the actual survey.
And this is the original from 1956.
Okay.
Yes, which was recorded.
It's the same we're looking at right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So advise us there on the proper motion, please, Mr.
We're
Tiller.
putting the right of way on Quill.
Should be
And
all
part,
right.
and part of Oak, I guess.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
over to the tank.
Right.
And then the other over to the pump station.
10 feet? 20
Wide.
feet?
Yeah, 12 feet would work.
12 feet?
Even for maintenance on that tank?
Only one way in, one way out, so that's close to what it is right now, it's like that gravel road that goes down there.
The access to that tank was usually on the far side of that tank,
From the top side,
from the top side.
it's, I guess, since then, it's kind of grown over now, so that's why we've always accessed it from the bottom side, which 9 times out of 10, we're at the pump station instead of the tank itself.
Yeah.
When there's maintenance, we're at the pump station.
Does it have gravel on it? Do we maintain?
We maintain it, yeah. It's not a full gravel, but it's like a lane road, it's 2 gravel.
With 20,
The bottom, not the top.
20 feet around those structures, is that reasonable, so we can turn our vehicles and such?
Yeah.
Well, you own the
Well,
lots.
we own the lot. too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's kind of.
You own the lots.
It's actually real nice.
Those should be, that should be, if it's 2 lots, it should be 50 foot, because they're 25-foot lots.
Okay.
Is that our lots right there?
And then we would reserve the right to maintain that easement, correct? Okay.
So I think it'd be a motion to vacate Quillen Street east of Angle Avenue, Oak Street, Pine Street, and Hill Street, condition on receipt of 12-foot right of way over Quillen Street and Oak Street to the town's water tank and pump station. Does that sound?
And I did hear, I think it's a really good point, that you all have the right to maintain that right of way. Actually, because there'd be trucks going in and out, we probably hope you wouldn't want to maintain it.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have the ability.
Would want to do that.
Is that your motion, Mr. Gilman?
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We have a second, Mr. Lambert. Any further questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you all for being here. Nice to meet you,
Thank
sir.
Well, good to meet you. Thank you all as well.
We appreciate it.
Hey, Susan. See you.
Thank you.
Drew Ryan, Brooks not here. I believe you're up. Mr. That's right, you're up there, Mr. Short. Everybody ready for Drew? Here we go.
Try to be quick tonight. Last meeting, we went through the, Little League MOU with the Little League in town, and made those, corrections that we had talked about, and the new updated draft is in the information packet. Had a chance to look over it, and made those changes, so if we wanna have, Brad as the Little League representative, and the mayor as the town representative, sign that agreement today, it's dated from, 9th day of June 2025. Unless anyone else has any other changes as well. You ready for it?
We are. Our board was fine.
I move to approve
Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Drew, you by any chance have an original that we can sign while we're here before we leave? And Brad,
I can.
hey, go ahead.
The next, item on my, manager's report is the Versa and Bayport proposals that I gave out at the, budget meeting. Those are insurance proposals, that we'll need to make a decision on tonight. Like I stated in my manager's report, Versa did come in, I think, around $6,000 to $7,000 more than Bayport. Beverly has reached out to me, and I agree with her that we would like, if you all agree, we would like to stay with Versa with the relationships we've built with them. And we also do receive somewhere between $2,000 to $4,000 a year in grants from them, so we're making up a little bit of money there.
I agree.
That's all.
I agree, we stay with Versa. Myself, it's been beneficial to us over the years. They've helped us.
So moved, Mayor. Second.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you very much. Now we move on, we get to, spend a little bit of, hopefully, spend a little bit of capital outlay money from the sewer plant, budget. Looking at our information, page to pass the, MOU. I've had Wes draw a little bit of the summaries of, some of the issues we've got going on at the wastewater plant. The first issue we have are our waste pumps. These are the pumps that actually take the waste, raw waste, and put it in our digesters to be able to move that forward and get it to the belt press to haul off. That motor, the motor is actually running right now. The pump is what is down. The three quotes that you see in front of you, one from Fisher Associates, one from USA Blue Book, and one from Buchanan Pump Service. The two top ones from Fisher and Blue Book do not include a new motor. The Buchanan Pump Service includes a new motor, which is not completely necessary. Right now, our motor is working. So,
How long would the motor work though?
that's the part of
How much
working,
would it
that's the
be?
part of
Would
working
it
with washway.
take it?
It's about $2,000. You're looking at Fisher Associates with the motor is around, their quote was still around 11,000 instead of 17,000. Still looking at a difference between 5,000 or 6,000. All of that cushion in the Buchanan Pumps quote is not the motor. You're looking about roughly $3,000 for a motor. The biggest thing with Buchanan's is obviously the turnaround time.
Which one is it we have to get parts made for? The pump or the motors?
So the one that you're getting parts made for is actually the mechanical screw. It's not the pumps itself.
Okay.
Are you recommending the Buchanan pump?
I am recommending Fisher & Associates without the motor and using our original motor right now.
So we're okay, you think, on our original motor?
Yes, sir. For right now, we are. Like I said, the motor will go, there's two pumps. This is just replacing the one right now that's down.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come back, maybe looking at next year's budget, if we can, get some of that in there, we can possibly go with the 17,000. I feel like looking at the original quotes, Fisher Associates, you can get a new motor and the pump for around 11,000 to 12,000. So I still feel like the Buchanan pump at 17 is quite a bit.
Would they negotiate, do you think?
Buchanan pumps, I mean, it's worth a shot. But the biggest thing is if we want to look at that, I'd appreciate if you gave me like a number to try to get to. And if not, we move forward with Fisher Associates because this can't last another month without.
Still recommending, Fisher and Associates, and even that, if we have to buy a new motor, it would still be less than
It
the
would still be
Buchanan.
less than Buchanan pump service.
So, with what you just stated, Drew, we need to take action because this couldn't last, we couldn't.
I wouldn't feel comfortable on another month without.
So,
doing that.
Fisher and Associates quoted lead time of 5 to 7 weeks.
Right.
Buchanan Pump is 1 to 2 weeks.
I mean, but I don't feel comfortable on another month waiting on a decision and then waiting up another 5 to 7 weeks, if that makes sense.
Okay, sounds good.
So we're okay with
We
the
have a
term.
motion on this. Let's do let's do the waste pumps first.
So I got a question before we go to the motion. These waste pumps, that's part of the PER, correct?
No.
These
PER
are
is
not?
closed.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So that's not part of the
That's not
PER.
part of the upgrade.
So this is capital outlay.
None of this on here is as far
It's
as.
capital outlay out of her own.
Yes, sir.
Out of the term budget, right?
It is, the only thing that, I'll get to the next one in a minute about the budget.
So I have a motion regarding the waste pumps.
You think we'll be all right with the 5 to 7 weeks lead time on that?
I do.
Okay, I'll make,
Now, operators, they're one for 1 to 2 weeks, but, you know, with that big of a price decrease, I think we could do 5 to 7 weeks.
Drew, I'd like to see if we can get Fisher and Associates to quote a pump also, even if we put it on the shelf
With the motor,
with the motor.
With the motor.
I mean, that way, if the motor goes down in 6 weeks,
Steve,
we
Two. $2,567.37, so a total of $10,770.89 with a pump and a motor.
That's with Fisher and Associates.
Fisher Associates, yes, sir.
10,000 what with the pump?
$10,770.89. The motor is a total of $2,567.37.
Get that pump. Yeah.
so we could get the, that motor won't be anymore if we buy it later.
Yeah, we'll.
Yeah, we'll too.
Anything's gonna be more.
It's gonna go up.
So,
But it's just like I said, that's your battle with water and wastewater. The pumps that we have out the wastewater and wastewater, they could last another 20 years, they could go out tomorrow. That's just, and they're expensive. That's the battle if you're looking at the infrastructure.
Alright. I just wanna make sure I understood you. So
Yes, sir.
if we do Fisher and Associates with the pump, and
With
add the pump to it,
With the pump
With the
and the motor. So
And
it all
the
is
motor.
correct. Pump
it's
and motor,
1077,
correct.
or 770.
Yes, sir. So we could actually take, what we would do with that, Wes and I talked, what we would do with that, we would take the old motor, put it on the shelf. When we got that one, sit that down, we could put it in.
second.
Mr. Gilmore made a motion, Mr. Lambert seconded. Any further discussion?
Pump, motor, base, and freight.
I still like, it wouldn't hurt for you to make a call. See what you can get it for. See if it'll come to 10,000 even.
Okay.
Or 9.
Or 9,500.
Let's just see how good you are, Drew.
Yeah, right.
We'll see.
All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? Alright,
And this is kind of why I was looking at not going to that 17,000 right off the bat with, mechanic pumps, because we have other purchases that are needed at the wastewater plant. The next one is our mechanical screen. It's the very first thing that the sewage sees on the way in. It's the screen that catches all your grit, stretches all that. It was actually damaged the second storm, not Hurricane Helene, but the second storm that came through. So we've been manually cleaning that since then, and it's caused some issues. Hydrodyne is the only people we can, CO logs wanting the quote to come work on it. You have to pull it out. Hydrodyne out of Florida, creator of it, are the only ones that we can get to give us a quote. And that quote's $13,192.51. And I'm not gonna promise anything, but I'm confident, I'm not promising, but I'm confident we'll get reimbursed by FEMA or DEQ for that one with the
On
big
that
storm
one.
issue.
do they come and help install it, or will they send
They do
everything
all-
to you?
They do everything.
Oh, they do everything?
Yeah, this is them coming and installing.
Okay. We gotta have that fixed. So that mechanical, you're saying it's damaged, correct?
It is inoperable right now.
Inoperable.
Basically, it's working, but it's not working the way it should be.
I got you.
We're working it manually.
So,
Mr. Lambert made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed?
I would like to put in the minutes that that was the only quote we could get on that.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, as usual, Drew, do a little talking,
Well,
see what you can do.
I'll do it. Last one for the wastewater is the UV ballast. It's time to